You can start monetizing the second you have one follower.
Brian Moran, the founder of SamCart, a powerhouse in the world of sales and marketing.
His brainchild, SamCart, which stands for Sales and Marketing Cart, is a testament to his expertise in helping businesses boost their online sales.
Brian has been dominating the field for years.
Creators that we know, they don't really have any interest in becoming like an expert salesperson. They just want it to be easy. They try to sell an expensive product first to a brand new person. That is extremely difficult. Maximum lifetime value of a customer is under $1,000. You want that number to be higher. They didn't just throw up a page and hope people buy. If you do that, nobody's going to buy. I went to school, I have a marketing degree, and nobody taught me how to sell anything. The best way to do it, like how I would teach a beginner.
You have a very unique story where you've been sort of a creator and now you've built a platform for creators, right? So when you're looking at SamCart today and some of the most successful creators and so sort of like people who are beginning, what are strategies that the ones that are really successful using that others aren't, that could basically change their business if they implemented them?
Yeah, I think with the folks, so on SamCart, I mean, I literally have our sales leaderboard up right now. We have 80,000 customers using either SamCart or Creator U or DropDeck, a new kind of like AI design tool that we just acquired 6 months ago. And so we can kind of see like almost a really good snapshot of the entire creator world, like folks that are just in the beginning journey, which that a lot of those folks are in Creator U. Folks kind of in the middle or just creating content, building an audience. Those folks usually using DropDeck, and then the folks really monetizing their audience at the highest level are on SamCart. We have folks on SamCart anywhere from making no sales yet, they're just trying to start selling their product, all the way up to, we have a couple folks doing like $100 million a year. And the stuff that separates the people at the top is they really think primarily about how am I going to monetize my audience? And they're not doing it in a bad way. Like they don't look at their audience as just a cash cow to just suck every dollar out of, but they have that side of their business cranking where they're constantly building an audience, but they're looking at everything through the lens of, this is a business. Like I have a product to sell. I want to help these people through my free content, but primarily through my paid content. That's where people are going to get the best results. And so I think it's really a mindset. I know I struggled with this when I first got started. In the beginning, it's easy to like look at your phone and just be obsessed with how many likes and followers and, retweets or whatever I'm getting, and judge your success based on how big your audience is. But you shouldn't. Like we call our top tier sellers, folks doing 25K a month all the way up to millions of dollars a month. We call them VIPs at SamCart. So if I say VIP, that's who I'm talking about. We have VIPs that have like a couple thousand followers, not huge audiences, but they're making 6 and 7 figures a year from a very small audience. And I think that's that mind shift that a lot of people think you need to get to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, and then you can start monetizing. That's just not the case. Like you can start monetizing the second you have one follower. Yeah, obviously we can get into like individual tactics, but from a 30,000 foot view, that's what it is. Like they are obsessed with not just every latest tactic for getting more fans, more followers, more views, whatever, but like how they're studying and relentlessly in pursuit of new ways to monetize and the best ways to monetize their audience.
What's interesting is you mentioned something that I really believe in too, which is this idea that like small audiences can create big revenue, right? I think one of the problems that have happened over the internet is, I think for the creator world, the model that everyone's lashed onto is this sort of CPM model where it's basically, I want to get sponsored, I want to get ads, and all of that is driven by how many impressions you can get, right? So like we create all this like extreme content because everyone's maximizing for views. When you're talking about people making a lot of money from small audiences, can you go a little bit in depth in terms of maybe examples of niches or what people are doing? And then even in terms of products, what are they selling if they have a small audience? Because I'm assuming it's not like a $10 ebook because you need too many impressions to make that work.
You'd be surprised. So in many cases, that is what it is. And I'll explain why. It's so funny because the whole, what you just mentioned, that business model of get a bunch of fans and then get a sponsorship deal, that's just the new affiliate marketing. I mean, any of us who've been around since, I got started in 2009, what a lot of people did was affiliate marketing. So there was no social media yet, but they had a big blog. They had a lot of visitors on their site, and they didn't have a product to sell. So they would put, Google AdSense was like the ultimate affiliate marketing model. You're just letting Google pay you a couple fractions of a penny every time somebody clicks an ad, or you listed other people's products on your site. In my opinion, that is lazy. And I don't mean to like insult anyone. I did that. Like, I was lazy, and it's an easy way to start monetizing, but you're giving somebody else like 80% of the profits. Again, like I made this mistake in the early days. Had a blog, didn't have a product yet, and just figured, look, I'm going to put Google AdSense ads on my site, or I'm going to link out to other people's affiliate products. And you can make money doing that. A ton of people make money. A ton of people make a lot of money, but it's not as easy. There's not a lot of VIPs, not a lot of big sellers or full-time affiliate marketers or brand deal people. Most of those folks they're perpetually stuck in that side hustle phase where they're just making a couple hundred or a couple $1,000 a month. And not only that, you're giving someone else complete control over your business. I mean, what if that brand finds a better influencer? What if that affiliate marketer, goes out of business? You have no control. You sent them all your best people, all the emails, cell phone numbers, contact information of your best customers, and you don't have it. That all of our top sellers, I don't know if any of them do brand deals. Like, they just build their own brand. They, if one of I think our number one seller, they're in the fitness world. They have a supplement line. They have courses. They have a coaching program. They easily could have went and either resold someone else's supplement or became an influencer or sponsor for a big supplement company. But they would have made that company tens of millions of dollars. And instead, they started small, figured out the cheapest way to build their own supplement brand. And now they do $100 million a year. And they get to keep all of it and control their own destiny. If their product needs a tweak, they fix it. They don't have to rely or hope someone else does it. So, yeah, I don't like the sponsorship model. I mean, one, it leaves you need to spend 3, 6, 12 months building an audience before anyone's going to actually stroke you a check. You could have been making money that whole time if you just create a product.
Completely. And so let's go back to that the thing that I said about like small audiences and big revenue, and even when I said, oh, you can't make that much from like a $10 ebook, right? So what are let's go into detail of like, what does that business actually look like for those sellers? What are those niches, and how are they VIPs for you guys, even with small audiences?
Yeah. So we have a lot of folks, let's take Instagram, for example. We have a lot of big sellers on Instagram that have 5,000-10,000 followers, and they're selling super cheap front end products. So they wrote an ebook, or they create a little mini course that they sell for $5 or $10. And that's actually a really good model off Instagram, because a lot of folks aren't going to come off Instagram and go buy, a $500 course or a $2,000 program or service. It's like getting them to buy something super cheap. It turns it into an impulse buy, and it's very easy to get customers that way. The way that they turn that $5 or $10 customer, or the way that they make money, because if you're just selling something for $5, obviously you need like thousands and thousands of customers to make any real money. But you don't if you get those $5 or $10 customers to spend hundreds of dollars after they buy that initial product. And there's a couple ways that all of our VIPs do that. One, while the person is buying that front end product for $5 or $10, their checkout flow, and this is really what SamCart was built to do, when they go to that checkout page to actually place their order, they're presented with a bunch of other things they can add into their cart. So we call those order bumps or upsells. The only difference is one happens on the checkout page, one happens immediately after they buy. You can kind of present somebody a special offer. And when someone becomes a customer of yours, those are the most valuable people in your business. Like, I would rather have 1,000 customers who spent any amount of money, even $1 with me. I'd rather have 1,000 of them than probably 100,000 social media followers. Like, they're just worth more. Like, someone who knows you, likes you, trusts you enough to give you their credit card information and their money that they work their butt off for. Those are people who they will most likely buy almost anything else that you come out with, especially if you over deliver. I mean, let's say we have a lot of golf experts or creators. A lot of them are big on YouTube because of like shorts are exploding over there. A lot of them been around on YouTube for a long time, but they do the same thing. They create a little PDF that has like 4 or 5 of their best tips about one specific topic, whether it's putting or driving or club selection or whatever it is. That makes it a very easy purchase for someone. If you're watching a YouTube video about how to get rid of your slice, and he said, he shows you a couple things in the video. So he helped you first for free. And below he says like, hey, my other best 5 tips for just completely curing your slice and hitting a perfect drive every time. You can get them down below in a little PDF that is $5 or $10, or a little mini course that's one video. It's $5 or $10. You're going to turn a massive amount of your followers into customers. You get that chunk of people over to spend $5 or $10. And then after they buy, you let them know about all the other things you have. You can jump right from a $5 or $10 sale to $100 or $200 full-fledged course, or $1,000 event or coaching program, or $100 free, or not free, like $100 hour-long coaching call where you get them on the phone and then sell them on your service. That's how they all do it. They just do whatever it takes to get someone to spend any amount of money, and then they have a customer. Like those are the people. You don't want to track how many followers you have. You want to track how many customers you have, because in the end, that's the difference between our VIPs, is they are relentlessly getting new customers.
And what's interesting is, because I've looked at the people who are like selling like $1 something or 5 or 10, right? And I was just like, why are they even doing this? Because it's like a waste of time. They're not making any money. But what you're saying is actually it's about getting someone to give you that first dollar, because then you've built that trust, and then you can expand from there.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and I do this every day. We have a brand under the SamCart umbrella called Creator U. You can check it out right now, creatoru.com. So it's $25 a month. It's essentially like a little mini coaching platform. It's like a Netflix for creators that has hundreds of videos, a bunch of resources, tools, templates, little AI bots built in. It's kind of like this whole platform where you jump in, you can connect to all your social media accounts, and then it kind of knows who you are and recommends the next best step. So the way we sell that is we take little pieces of what's inside Creator U. So like a little report that's in there, or a video that's in there, one specific thing. We create a little landing page for it, and we sell it for $10, and we run ads to it, and we drive our social media to it. You can go to the Creator U Instagram right now and see that our link in bio goes right to those things. So we get somebody in for $10. We show them all the other things that we have. We can offer them SamCart. We can offer them Drop Deck. We can offer them the full Creator U membership. We have premium courses. We have a coaching program where we actually get our hands dirty with people one-on-one. We just let them know about those things. Like, it's not pushy. It's not super salesy. And we turn those, every one of those $10 buyers within 30 days is worth on average like $150. So when you think about that, like, now I don't look at it as a $10 sale, which is depressing. Like, I got to sell a ton of those. I look at every one of those as a $150 sale. And it's as easy as selling a $10 product. Like, that is the key point here. Most creators go out with, a lot of creators, and I did the same thing. They try to sell an expensive product first to a brand new person. That is extremely difficult. Like, you can do it, but you need to be an expert copywriter. You need to study sales. You need to be an expert in persuasion. That's doable. All those things are learnable. You can go on YouTube today and in 8 hours be better than 99% of the people in the world, but it's hard, and you have to be a really good communicator. When you're selling a $5 or $10 product, you can suck at sales and make sales, especially if on social media you're just giving value all the time. Like, people are ready to buy. They want to buy from you. So you get the benefit of selling something super easy, something cheap, $5 or $10 that you don't even need a landing page, barely. Like, you could have like a PayPal button and you probably make some sales. I don't recommend that, but you probably could. And then but you still get the benefit of all the extra revenue that comes with it if you just do the couple things that let those people know about all the other stuff that you have.
Right. And yeah, I completely agree, which is, I recommend something different, which is interesting, because I recommend people start with a higher price. But for a higher price, you definitely, like, I think to get to the level where you can just write a landing page and sell at a higher price point, that's like the Olympics, right? It's you have to do it over the phone, and you have to like talk to people, which a lot of creators don't want to do. So this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And again, all those things work. Like, from what we see in the SamCart data, if you're selling something For $25 or less, you can have a very simple landing page, like 500 words. It could really be just like a checkout form where with name, email, credit card on the right, and on the left is just the name of the product. Got to have a good name, a couple testimonials, a couple bullet points of what they get, and that's it. It will convert. Like people will buy because it's cheap. Once you get into like $50 to $200, you need like either a long form sales letter that's usually thousands of words because you need to build confidence, build trust for them to part with that much money, or you need a video sales letter, which is basically the same thing, just in the form of like a 5 to 10 minute video. Once you get into like $300 or more, we normally see the best way to sell that price point is through a webinar, like a 60 or 90-minute webinar like this, where they get to see you, hear you, know you, trust you, because that's a lot of money to part with. Or you have to get on the phone. And all those things are doable. It's just some of them are more work than others, which is why we recommend for a lot of creators that we know, they don't really have any interest in becoming like an expert salesperson. They just want it to be easy. That is what I've seen is the easiest way to do it, is just start with a super cheap product, get people in, because then you don't need all that fancy stuff to sell them later because they already gave you money. Like they crossed that threshold. And if you over deliver and you have a great, even cheap product, they're going to buy whatever else you have.
Because you've established that brand. And creators are notorious for not wanting to get on the phone. So totally. Okay, let's zoom back in or zoom back out. What are other strategies like this that your VIPs are using that, let's say if someone's on PayPal or not on SamCart or whatever, are not using, that they can use to grow their business?
Man, there's a bunch. I mean, I'm actually surprised that not all of our top sellers are using paid traffic, like Facebook ads, Instagram, YouTube, Google, Twitter, everywhere else. But a majority of them are. Like the folks that are putting up huge numbers, like $10 million a year plus, most of them are using paid ads. They might not have started there. But like you can only go so far with organic, just building up a big audience. And I think it takes a special person to get to that level where you have millions of followers, which you will need to make like $50 million plus a year. Not all of us need to get to that level, but to really scale up fast, a lot of the folks at the top are using paid ads. But again, a lot of them didn't start there. They got to $1 million a year without it. But that's really what I've seen. That's how a lot of them control how fast they grow. You can't really control how fast Google, YouTube or Instagram, or Facebook like gives you an audience. But you can control, how much money you spend on their platforms. They're going to let you spend as much as you want.
Paid media, definitely. Are there other strategies beyond paid media? And by the way, +1 for paid media. Basically, the context of this, like, what are they doing differently?
Okay, so you got paid media or paid ads. Yeah, order bumps, upsells. Definitely just the mindset of like they're constantly looking for what else can I be doing. Another big thing that all of them are doing, it's kind of similar to order bumps and upsells because you can't do those without this, but they're not just selling one product and then being done with the customer. They're looking at the moment that someone buys from you, that's the beginning of the journey. Like now it's time to get to work. And what that means is they're constantly emailing, texting, staying in contact with those customers on a sometimes daily, bare minimum weekly basis. They're constantly talking to those people, either getting them into a Facebook group and posting or getting them onto a text list or an email list. They're always in touch with them multiple times a week normally. And what they're saying in all those communications, they're doing two things. They're continuing to deliver value and build a connection with them. So it could be as simple as a daily email that tells a quick story that has kind of like a lesson in there. Perfect example. If you go back to like that golf niche, let's say there's a golf expert on YouTube. He's selling that $5 product. All of his stuff is pointing to that $5 or $10 product to get as many customers as possible. He gets them to buy on day one. He's offering them multiple other products to add into their cart. So he's making $50 or $100 instead of the 10. And then after the day that person buys, they're going to get a daily or multiple times a week. They're going to get an email or a text from him that just continues to build their trust in him. So he might just tell like a simple story like, hey, I was at the driving range yesterday and I saw this guy, struggling with his drive and he couldn't figure it out. And I went over and just shared one tip with him, and boom, like it immediately helped. Here's the tip I shared. And that's it. That's the whole email. Like that day, he built more trust with his people. The next day, he might say, hey, I don't know if you know about this, but I've been working on, I've been struggling with putting, and I know a lot of you are struggling with your putting because you talk to me in the Facebook group, you reply to my emails. So I've been working with this other guy who's one of the world's, renowned putting experts. He showed me a couple things. I recorded it all yesterday, and I'm in the process of editing these videos. I think I'll have something ready for you next week. And he's building anticipation towards another product that they can then go buy. And a couple days later, he might say, hey, my new putting product is done. It's $100 or $1,000 or $50, like whatever he wants to sell it for. But he's just doing that every single day, or at least every single week, continuing to stay in touch with his customers so they don't forget who he is, build trust, build connection, and then continue to sell other things. Kind of parlayed on the back of that, a lot of I'd have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure most of the VIPs, they don't lead with their most expensive stuff, but they have really expensive stuff. If we're talking about the people that are doing millions per year, they have a couple products that are $5 or $10 that they just use those to get customers. That's it. They don't even care if they make money. Then they have a couple products in the like $50 to $200 range, which is kind of like a good next step for that $5, $10 customer. Then they might have like $1,000 or $2,000 course that is still pretty automated. You can just give it to somebody and they get value. A lot of them have something that's 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. I mean, even some of these folks have $50,000 products that are, anything from coaching programs to events to, excursions to mastermind groups to done for you services. Like there's a million things you can sell at that price point, but a lot of them have those as kind of like the final destination. Because if you start getting customers, usually 10, 20% of them are going to want everything that you have, no matter what the price is. Like there's some people out there who just buy the fanciest thing no matter what, or they just want the result no matter what it costs. And you want to have something for them. There's a super smart marketer I was talking to a couple weeks ago, and he has this term that he uses called maximum lifetime value. And it's a good number for all creators to write down. And it's kind of aspirational. Like I'm still building towards increasing this number for our own business. But if you add up the price of every product that you have, and that's the most somebody can spend, what is that number? And the beginner creators, that number is $10, $20, $50. Like everything that they have, that's the most you can spend. Or, even the next step, like they might have a $500 or $1,000 course, but that's it. Maximum lifetime value of a customer is under $1,000. You want that number to be higher. Like you should shoot, your first goal should be get it to 5K. And that could just be creating a bunch of different $10 products and a bunch of $50 to $250 products, and maybe one or two $1,000 or $2,000 products. But combined, it's $5,000. Ideally, you just want to push that number higher every single year. Create more products, create a service, create a high ticket program that you can get people into. That's how, or create a recurring subscription that those things, you could sell something for $100 a month. And if someone stays for 20 months, there's $2,000 onto your maximum lifetime value. Our VIPs, that the number for their maximum lifetime value, if someone came in and said, give me everything you have, I don't care what it costs, that number is going to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And the interesting thing is we spend so much time on the front end, like getting more people in, where if a creator already has like people they've sold to, they could just create a bigger product and make a bunch of cash flow that way, right?
Yeah. Like my one piece of advice for any creator, like if I was coaching somebody today or trying to help somebody out, if they said, hey, if I asked, first thing I would ask is how many customers do you have? If they said, I have 100 customers or more, like you want the fastest injection of cash in your business. If you have over 100 customers, I mean, this would work no matter how many customers you have. If you have any customers, just create another product and market it to them. Like that's going to be the fastest money you make in any business anywhere on earth. I don't care what you're selling, whether you're a creator or not. That is the easiest money you'll ever make is selling something to your current customers.
And the cool thing is you can actually go to those customers and literally ask, what other problems should I solve, or what other product should I create? And they will tell you what they want. One of the things that you mentioned earlier was a creator in the golf niche, right? So when you're looking at your like subset of VIPs, beyond just to sort of like make more money online, what are some examples of maybe niches where you wouldn't expect it to be working, and you're like, wait, how is this working?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at him right now. So there's one guy, his business is called Watch Trading Academy. So he has a whole set of courses on, like, I don't know if you have any friends that do this. I do. Like, guys that buy Rolexes and then resell them. Like, apparently a Rolex just continues to accrue value, and there's ways to like buy them cheap and sell them high, or buy them and hold on to them. He's like a whole course on essentially investing or flipping high end watches. Like, I never thought there were that many people interested in that, but apparently there are. Let's see. One guy is a coach for speakers, so he helps guys like Tony Robbins and like even small speakers just get better on stage, kind of hone in their talks. Another place is a big health and wellness brand. They have everything from courses to supplements, but I know a big chunk of their revenue comes from coaching. So they have a lot of cheap front end products, and then they get people on the phone, and they have like health coaches that you can hire for, I don't know how much it costs. My guess is thousands of dollars. Another big health brand. One is like a women's digestive health. I think they have like a whole host of supplements there. One is called Spinal Flow, and I can't remember if this is a course or if it's an actual service. But it's like kind of in the chiropractic space. A bunch of big sports ones, like a bunch of big baseball brands, a bunch of big basketball brands. A lot of folks in the sports world are kind of getting into like the whole AI machine learning, and they're either selling like equipment, like VR headsets that you can use to get better at that sport, or they have courses. A lot of them have events and like kind of workouts or like kind of camps all over the country. Yeah, there's a bunch. A lot of folks in the self-help world. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch on here. Again, like everyone always talks about, like what are the 5 big most popular niches? Like health and wellness, fitness kind of goes in there. Like self-help, business, consulting, kind of like anything marketing or just business. Relationships, real estate is another big one. We have a bunch of them. But yeah, it's like all over the board.
What are other because I know so like you're looking at this like VIP dashboard, right? What are other insights or questions I should be asking around that or people should be asking in terms of the data that you've collected that they don't?
The truth is, a lot of it just comes back to what we had talked about before, that these folks aren't doing anything special. They have a mindset of making money, not building big audiences. Like, I don't think any of these people care if they like lose followers or don't have a huge social media audience. Like, they know how to create products that people want, and they know how to sell them. Like, they've learned how to convince people to buy what it is they're selling. And that's not a scammy, like sleazy skill. It can, there's plenty of people out there that use it for evil and come off the wrong way. But where I see a lot of creators make the mistake, like we have a lot of folks in Creator U that are trying to launch their first product or course or ebook right now. And when I look at a lot of their pages, like the actual landing page that they're trying to use to convince people to buy, the language is just off. Like, it's kind of an art and a science to convince somebody to buy what it is you're selling. And I struggle with this I don't think my first product was live for like 14 months before I made a single sale. And it's because no one ever taught me, like, how do you actually sell something? Like, what's a good headline? You need a money back guarantee. You need to show testimonials, like all the whole checklist of things that you need in order to convince somebody to give you their money. Like, you can't just go up to people and ask them for their money. Like, it's not going to work that way. You need to be able to sell, especially if you're selling stuff on the internet. Like, my kids could open up a lemonade stand And the sales pitch does not need to be said. Like, there's lemonade sitting right there. Everyone knows what lemonade tastes like. You know it's going to be refreshing. You know you're going to like it. My kids would not need to sell you. Like, they're just, someone's going to look at the price and then buy. You don't need a landing page. You don't need a sales pitch. You don't need a webinar. But most of us are selling things that need to be sold. Like, you need to show people why they should trust you, what they're going to get, what's in it for them. You don't talk about yourself. That's the biggest mistake I see people make. They brag about stuff, or they just talk about themselves. You need to talk about your customer. What are they going to experience? What are the results they're going to get? That's what the VIPs, I could pull up any one of their pages, and it would be an impressive sales pitch. Even for a cheap little $5 product without a whole lot of words, but the few words they're using, that little mini landing page, that's all you need to sell something that cheap. Even that little page, they stressed over. Like, they studied what you need to say there. They figured it out. They got into the mind of their customer. They didn't just throw up a page and hope people buy. If you do that, nobody's going to buy.
What's interesting is people spend so much time on like the tactical and the tools, right? Like, what software should I use, or what's the like one funnel that's working right now? But what you just said, which is figuring out the message, getting inside the minds of your customers, and really understanding their problems, that is so much more important than all the tactics and the tools.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy mistake to make because nobody teaches us this stuff. I mean, I went to school, I have a marketing degree, and nobody taught me how to sell anything. I learned how to what a banner ad was, and what a billboard was, and what a good brand campaign was. And those things are okay for a big company. For folks like us, we need people not to just know about us. We need people to buy, and because we don't make money if they don't. Nobody teaches that stuff. The best way to do it, like how I would teach a beginner, you could go down the rabbit hole. We could talk about sales tactics, or copywriting, or landing page design, and the 15 to 20 elements that you really need for any sales pitch to absolutely crush it. The truth is, for a beginner, if you just have a good product title and a list of bullet points, and the title of the bullet points is here's what you're going to get, or here are the benefits you're going to experience, and you just start listing out those, you will sell. That gets you talking about your customer, about what they care about what's in it for them. That's it. You could do a whole sales pitch. Any landing page could just be a great headline that grabs their attention, a great product title, and a list of bullet points that just tells them what they're going to experience. That's really all you need. A lot of people stay really surface level. They have a new product or service or course, and their bullet points, their sales page, is basically a really bad product title. Number one, that confuses people. It's way too woo-woo, kind of in the clouds, broad, generic. It's not specific, doesn't promise a specific result. And then their bullet points are this course is 97 minutes long, jam-packed with value. It's, instantly downloadable inside of the members area. It's got beautiful slides and transitions. They're just kind of telling people things they don't care about. Nobody cares how long your product is. They don't care how good it looks. They don't care how many pages it is. They don't care how long it took you to make it. They care about what they're going to experience or get after they go through it. That's it. And so you just need to talk to them, about the things that they care about. If I'm in the golf niche, my bullets would be, look, after going through, well, first, we talk about product title. Let's say you're making a little mini $5 ebook about how to cure a slice. The bad salesman creator would name that product what would a terrible title for that thing be?
You're I can't think of terrible titles because I'm
it would be this isn't a terrible title, but it'd be something cute, like the slice cure. And the slice cure, you could be selling an apple slicer, that. It could be that could be anything. It's not specific. The perfect title is how to cure your slice in 90 minutes or less. That's it. Straight to the point. Something that a golfer would see, they'd read that language and they would know that's for me. That's exactly what I want. Then the bullets, I would get, you got to go deep. A mentor of mine calls it the 5, 6s, and 7s. And 5, 6, and 7s just means getting to layer 5, 6, and 7 in the kind of hierarchy of needs for your customer. So if you're selling a course on how to cure a slice, ask yourself this question: why does your customer want this? And the average creator will say, like, well, they're slicing their drive every time and they want to hit the ball straight. So hit the ball straight is number one. Get to level 2 by asking, why do they want to hit the ball straight? Level 2 is, well, they want to hit the ball straight so that they get better scores. Okay, that's level 2. Why do they want to get better scores? Well, because they want to beat their friends, or like they want to feel better about their game. And you just keep asking, why do they want that? Okay, now, but why do they want this? Why do they want this? And you get down to these like core emotional things. Like the surface level things are like cure your slice, hit the ball farther. All marketers say that. But when you start writing copy that's deeper and you get to the thing they really want, like, I don't want to just cure my slice. Like, I want to impress the hell out of my friends. I want to step up to the driving range and have my friends see me hit a 300-yard drive right down the middle. And I want to be, I don't want to embarrass myself. Like, I want to feel confident to go play with people I don't know. Those are what I really want. Like, I don't care how you get me there. You could fix my slice. You could give me a new driver, whatever. But that's what I'm really after. Like, I want to feel good. I want to, I want to impress my friends. So when you write that stuff on your sales letter, you will dominate your whole market because no one else talks to your customers that way. Everyone else is saying, here's how to lose 5 pounds. Here's how to hit a golf ball farther. Here's how to feel better about yourself. Here's how to launch your first online business. Like, they just talk about level 1s all the damn time. Like, get deeper and just, you go deep by asking them yourselves, why do they want that? Okay, why do they want that? Okay, why do they want that? And you start talking, you start saying things that your market will say, holy crap, this guy or girl, like, they know me. They know, they've been in my shoes, because you can't write that kind of copy unless you've been in someone's shoes. Those are the kind of things that, like, the VIPs, they are, when you get to that level, they have become a master at sales, not a master at social media. Like, that doesn't really matter. If you become a master at, at selling and running a business, it's easy to get traffic. It's easy to get fans because you can just go spend money to do it or hire people to do it for you.
And what's interesting is, like, if you're spending most of your time on social media, that's where you're getting better at, right? You're getting better at creating attention and not building a business. And the other thing I was also thinking is, I remember I interviewed a performance coach, and he said something really interesting, which is, at the realms of greatness, it's about subtraction, not addition, right? Like, you don't need to do too much, because I think what we assume is, and even like when I asked you this question, it was like, oh, what are like the 10, 20 things that like creators are at the top level are doing? But the honest answer is probably, it's like just like the 4 or 5 you said. And if they just do those repeatedly better and better, they're going to build a huge business instead of looking for more, or spending more time on social media or the new social media thing or whatever else.
Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with becoming an expert at social media. I mean, when you're first starting out, if you don't have money to run ads with, you have to. Like, that's how you're going to build your audience. Figuring out how to become a great podcaster or YouTuber, Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like, talk about subtraction. Pick one channel. Like, do not go try to get big on multiple channels. Like, you can't. If you're just starting out, like, that is actually, talk about like commonalities between our VIPs. I don't think any of them, even the folks doing 50 to 100 million a year, I think they're primarily on one social media channel, and that's it. Like, they're not, everyone talks about, like, repurposing your content everywhere, and there's like tools that do that for you, and that's fine. But you can't possibly build a business while being a TikTok expert and Instagram expert, YouTube. Like, you just can't do it. Pick one channel, get good at it. Like, I'm not saying everything's about sales. Like, you have to get traffic from somewhere. You have to build an audience. So get good at it. And the good news is, getting good at creating content, you can only get good at that if you figure out what your customers like and respond to. What kind of content do they like? Those things make your marketing better if you know what to look for in them. So yeah, if I was starting out, I'd pick one channel. Right now, I'd probably pick Instagram, because it's still relatively easy to build an audience pretty fast, and a lot of those folks spend money. So get really good at Instagram. That would not take all that long. Like, it's not that complicated. Everyone wants to complicate it. It's same thing there. Subtract. Like, there's 2 or 3 things that if you do on Instagram, you will grow if you're just consistent. Do that. Study sales, like have a goal of having a suite of products, and those wouldn't take very long. If you're in the digital product space doing courses and ebooks, I mean, with AI and stuff now, like, you can create products really dang fast. Have little simple landing pages that all your social media, all your posts, your link in bio, everything points to there. One starting point. Do not send your people to your homepage or over to your YouTube or over to your podcast that no one's listening to or to your blog. Like, everyone should go to one place, and that one place should be your primary front end product. That my recommendation would be a cheap product. Or, like, if you're selling something high ticket, get them all to book a call so you can sell them that thing. Drive everyone there.